Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you join me for another train ride as we once again depart on the Bone Shaker. No expert challenge this time, and let's see what the fates decide to bring us. We got Melting Remnant Stygian with the alternate hero and cards. Two Moldeds in addition to our basic Moldeds. That's a lot of ability to reform there. Mollusk Mages can be useful with some of the spells, even with the Frozen Lances in the early game, they kind of do okay. Fatal Melting, we'll see. Maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't. Alright, as always, check out our artifact first, and we can either deal a small amount of damage when we cast a spell, or make our X cards better. Don't currently have X cards, and we do have lots of spells. That said, this effect is somewhat marginal, whereas this can lead to some pretty good results with some of the cards later on. The 2 damage would help in the early game, as usual, just to help us hit units in the back, but because it's not even guaranteed to hit a backline unit, it just hits a random one. I think it's just not quite strong enough where the Health Pact can really shine in some situations, and of course there's a chance we don't find any X cards and this ends up being a complete dud, but we'll be keeping an eye out. Alright, and we got the Endless version of Little Fade, which I'm still a pretty big fan of. It does make all of our mold spells a little less good. If he's already endless, then you know, we're not really looking to reform our Train Stewards or Mollusk Mages all that much. But I'm okay with having this part of the deck not be as useful. The other upgrade of Little Fate can be good, but this one's just so much easier to make work, so I'm gonna deal with it once again. And we have armor on our enemies as the challenge. Means we'll leak a little bit, but I'm willing to take that. Once our champion dies, about twice he'll start killing stuff, though. There's not so many waves for him to train up here. We'll go ahead and deploy it, get it started on that department, play Train Steward at the top in case we get Collector, and unfortunately just lots of cards doesn't do anything here. So. And Collector ends up spawning in the middle floor, unlucky. So this is for 30. We could try to get one of these things killed, perhaps. Yeah, I think that may be worth our while, is to just play Train Steward for Hero and a Mollusk Mage, get some damage on this, at the very least reduce the amount of times we'll hit the fire, and maybe we can kill it at the top here, depending on what we draw. Alright, we draw a bunch of Frozen Lances. Unfortunately, they don't do quite as much up here as they would down here, so we'll definitely fire, I guess, both these off. Go ahead and get this unit killed. Nothing to reform still. Again, that part of the deck is not going to be super good for a while. But we reduced this down to where it got killed in a single hit. That's good. We can reform our Steward if we'd like. I would like to deal damage to this to make sure it doesn't get through the pyre. And then we just have to decide between these things. Is it worth it to reform a Steward? I think it might be, since we're guaranteed to draw another one next turn. We can reform it again, and it will be quite tough to cover for our DPS units over here, so go ahead and do that. Just down one, not doing much this turn, but next turn it should help. And then we'll need the room on this floor. I'll also mention the top in case the boss gets that far. as per the original plan. Do that, get rid of this weight. And I don't suppose it really matters too much how I play this. I'll just replay my champion the following turn, I think. Or just fire this Frozen Lance, doesn't really matter. Alright, first boss down with the challenge and only took 2 damage, that's good news. Let's see, we can apply Burnout in various forms and also grab an Entombed Explosive, excuse me. The Explosive makes a lot of sense, that finally gives us a good target for all these molds. It's not as powerful as the Stealth, but it still does alright, and I'm not really looking for these effects quite yet. Perhaps we pick up a minion that will be useful with these, but for the time being I'm happy with the Explosive. And here we have our choice of different spell damages. Spell weakness could do okay, but we're going to want something better than the Frozen Lance before we start worrying about spell weakness. So then it's a question of Titan's Gratitude versus Helical Chrysalis, and they both actually scale nicely with the Mollusk Mages, giving 8 magic power. Here, of course, you get to apply it twice because you're dealing damage twice, and here, because it's attuned, it gets to get multiplied. So this ends up being the overall better effect with the Mages, and it costs 1 less mana, so I'll go ahead and grab that. The discard doesn't scare me too much. And for our creature, we have our choice of a nice Incant Tank, a Harvest Tycoon, and the Xylophyte. We don't have that many units we're actively looking to have die, other than the Entombed Explosive and our champion a few times, but not looking to have them die over and over the entire battle, so I'm not too excited about the Oakless Tycoon. Both of these I'm interested in. The Guard of the Unnamed could be set up on a floor with the Mollusk Mages, where we try to just cast lots of damage spells and get him armor while also reducing incoming damage. Pretty good stuff. The Xylophyte, similarly, or rather a little differently, but fitting into the same plan, could apply spell weakness, and then on a floor above we set up our Mollusk Mages and go to town. We are heading to a Remnant banner next. We don't really expect to see a sweep unit from a Remnant banner. There are some DPS units, there are some tanks, but there's not really a sweep. So I might be interested in picking up the Xylophyte. We can find a different tank, but having the sweep effect is really good, as again we have no way to really interact with the back, and we can just pump her power up a little bit, or give her multi-strike or something. She'll be great. So I'll give the Xylophyte a shot here. And we've got, okay, we got 10 attack, that'll be good on her, and then we have health for a potential tank we pick up. So let's see if we can find one. Okay, we have the Wickless Baron to serve as a tank, similar to a combo we ran before. This time I don't think it'll be quite as effective, most likely, but nevertheless, she can sweep stuff away, he'll get a couple of triggers on his health, and whenever we can, we throw the Entombed Explosive in the front to give him a little bit of bonus value there. And that ends up being a pretty good floor for us. The Parapet Thug, a little bit harder with our current setup to fit where we want, so we'll put him there and just apply our basic upgrades here, giving her a little bit of attack and him a little bit of health. Alright. No reason to spend the remainder of our 50 gold, and we're in okay shape now. We need obviously a different tank for these Mollusk Mages to take advantage of her spell weakness. and potentially looking for more spell effects. Maybe something with an X cost would be good. But we're in a decent place to start. Let's see, enemies on each floor. Because we took so little damage on the first trial, I'm more willing to take this one. We're probably going to be taking some damage. Maybe we can use a Frozen Lance or two to clear out some of those guys, but for the most part, they'll be getting through, but I think that's okay. We could certainly use the money. Okay, we get both our units here, that's nice. We could try to set them up on this floor, though unfortunately this became smaller, which means we can't get the Entombed Explosive in the front like we would very much enjoy. So I think I'm going to stick to the plan, put them on the bottom, and again just let these guys get through, unfortunately. And of course get our little Fade dying, might as well do it down here for a little bit of bonus. And just fire this off to clear out one guy, save a little bit of fire health. Lecter hanging out up top. We could spend this card to kill it if we feel so inclined. I don't know that I do though, as we could clear the entire top floor with it as well. So we'll be doing one of those two things for sure, and I think Little Fade is probably going to end up here just to clear this fellow off. So then the only question is, would I rather save 4 pyre health by clearing this floor out or make 50 gold? And I think 4 pyre is low enough amount that I'd rather just make the money. So I'll play this for 3 damage, get our cash. Alright, and still no Tomb unit, unfortunately. We'll be looking to set some of these stewards up somewhere. Let's think about this for just a minute. So if this floor doesn't do it, we're looking to have the champion do his thing down here and then get played on the following floor the turn after. So I will set up 2 stewards at the top to tank for him on the final boss phase. This lance doesn't kill, so there's no reason to play it. Okay, still didn't get our tomb. We're almost killing here. In fact, I can probably just drop this and get a kill, so might as well go with the simple approach. Alright, this floor is working okay, and as you can see, we applied something like 5 spell weakness there. So if we get our big damage spell afterwards, that could be pretty substantial. Okay, we got the stealth guy once again, and more ways to extend the burnout. We don't care about those at the moment still. So I'll take another tomb and look to juggle those in front of our bottom floor. And here, I think I'm happy enough picking up another Gratitude. We're going to be looking to make use of our Mollusk Mages. I think the last time I had them, they just kind of went ignored, and I even removed them towards the end. This time, we'll be looking to take advantage of this magic power for great benefit. We just really need to find a tank to stick in front of them. So to that end, I think we'll be heading once more for the banner, look for some sort of Stygian tank that will be happy to have incant triggers. The duplicate and the health not as important, I don't feel right now. And of course the magic merchant can end up being quite good as well, since we have those powerful spells. So let's see what we have, and unfortunately we end up with another selection of sweep units, making me regret the decision earlier to not pick up the guard. So now we just have to decide whether we are interested in more sweep units or not. I think the only way I would possibly pick this one is if I was looking to extend our floors. So pick up capacity from the boss and then play 2 of these on the bottom, really stack up a lot of spell weakness on bosses. Could be interesting, but we have to plan with tombs a little bit, so it doesn't really even work that well. The Clocelia we could potentially play somewhere else, but since we already have 1 sweep unit, I'm a little less interested. I do generally like this. Frostbite is just strong, but it just doesn't currently fill or fit our setup all that well. I mean, there's a world where we just shove a large stone on this and it becomes a tank anyway. Since the first floor will be taking the bulk of the damage and we're sweeping down there, the only stuff leaking through will be the somewhat less terrifying creatures. But I think we're going to skip and just hope to find something a little more tanky down the road. And as usual, I have to decide if I'd rather upgrade first or check out the cave first. I think because the duplication event is a strong possibility, I'm going to be looking to try and improve these Titans, one of these Titans Gratitudes before I check out the cave. Wouldn't mind getting a few copies of this with some additional spell damage on, perhaps. Cost reduction could be good if we end up specifically getting the duplication event. Obviously making them cost 0 at that point is good. If it's just 1 copy, I'm less concerned, but there's really nothing else here that I need to reduce the cost of, so I might as well. Always happy to throw this on lances. It makes them actually a decent spell to throw at a creature, and then they get out of the deck. Great. I don't think I'm too interested in Permafrost for anything, especially at this price point. So reroll, and we get pretty unlucky, not hitting. Just a straight magic power, just the consume version. So at this point, I'm gonna go check out the cave. I'm not gonna be improving the Titans Gratitude with any of those. Looks like we get an opportunity to perhaps purchase a relic, and I am not that interested in the upgrades we had back at the shop, so I'll spend some money on this and hope to get lucky. Okay, that's an interesting one. Certainly makes our setup a lot easier, and it lets us pick up maybe more expensive units down the road. Could be fun. And here I'll just throw this on 1 more lance and reduce the cost on nothing, I think. Obviously the Fatal Melting could use a cost reduction down to 1, but I'm just not interested in casting that spell usually. And once again, we're facing the Talos that pushes back, man. I haven't faced the old school first boss in quite a while. It's been Talos quite a lot. Really unfortunate here. So, as before, I think our plan is going to be to hope to throw something in front for the Wickless Baron to not get pushed around. Of course, our units are free at this point, so it's fantastic. We'll get Lil Fade dying and throw up a Mollusk Mage at the top, I suppose. We're looking to maybe have 2 Mollusk Mages and a Train Steward in front, something along those lines. Alright, we found our explosive, that's great. Go ahead and deploy that. One other thing I didn't talk about, but it's actually quite important here. The Forever Flame means we can let Little Fade die several more times than usual. I suppose exactly 2 more times than normal. And still be able to afford to cast it, which is great, because it's going to make him quite powerful. And I'll be taking advantage of that here, letting the boss kill it. Deploy 1 Steward here. our powered up lance gets to get a kill. It's fantastic. And I'm happy to play a Terrain Steward in the middle as well. I think there's no reason not to. Alright. Didn't get a Reform or another Tomb unit, but we did get Little Fade back, and it's still costing 0, so we'll throw it in the front. It'll exactly die, which is kind of perfect. I want to leave room here, so I'm not going to be deploying this Steward anywhere. And I suppose I may as well cast these spells. Okay, we don't care about this guy, he can die. Little Fade is starting to get a little more expensive, so I want to take a break on having it die. But we got our stealth unit here, that's great. Toss that out. And I think what I'll end up doing is playing this guy to protect and a Little Fade in the back, some damage. I suppose I may as well do this, sure. Okay, this is gonna get pushed. Fine. Well, perhaps not actually. We get to play some of these moldeds. Well, that was the non-random one, but we'll be playing them both, so it doesn't matter too much. Go ahead and give them more stealth at the bottom and hit the boss once again. Oh, we actually don't get to because it's too tough. It's okay. And not really interested in these lances. They don't accomplish much. I'd rather keep the spell weakness in the boss. Now we got the final wave. Cast some more of these molds. The stealth is perfect. And looks like the boss is dying. Alright. Fire this off for the heck of it. Alright. Pretty similar plan to what we've done in the past, but you know, if it works, I will take it. Okay. Our option of 2 different strong Pyrebound effects and the Sacrificial Resurrection. This card can be pretty interesting. You can make a very, very powerful draft, and it also lets you get rid of some of the less good cards in your deck, so I don't mind it often, but I don't think we're quite set up for it. We don't have a way to really extend that draft's duration anyway, so I guess we can reform it a bunch or something. There could maybe be something there, but I'm just not that excited by it, whereas these are pretty strong cards. The Siren Song, I've talked about before, very good. The Ice Empire is interesting here because if we set up our spell damage floor at the top, get our Mollusk Mages rolling, that's an extra 40 from each one. So we could try to maybe put Permafreeze on this and smash the bosses with it once they make their way to the top. So I think Siren Song is usually better, but because I'm looking for some spell synergies, I'm going to pick this up. We'll see if I regret that decision or not. And here we see the Icy Silophyte once again, not interested still. The Siren Sea is a passable tank. It does pump its health on Incant, which we'll be looking to do. So I'm happy to grab that here. And with all of our units costing 0 and not having too much in the way of expensive spells, certainly we'll be looking for a draw. Alright, so we can go to the Merchant of Steel and improve our units. We don't have a lot of gold, but we get some there. Or we can go for remove an artifact and another another unit. So this is, I believe, our last unit flag. So the decision here is, do we need another unit to complete our team? We are a little bit short. I think what we have could maybe work. So we have the one floor with the Silo fight and the Wickless Baron doing their thing, and we're planning to play Mollusk Mages alongside a Siren of the Sea to have her tank and sort of incant, that sort of thing. And then the Little Fade gets to reapply his damage on each phase of the boss fight, which is good. That said, we have nothing for the third floor to tank for the Fade, which could be helpful. As usual, I'd like to visit a Merchant of Steel, so is there one coming up afterwards? There is one coming up immediately afterwards. That makes me far more inclined to go check out the flag. And the remove is good as well. Yeah, let's see if we can find something spicy here. Check out our artifact first. See whether it makes a difference. The Melting Spout and the Clippings. The Melting Spout, we have 2 tombs, right? We have the Stealth and the Exploding one. I think this will end up being pretty good for us. It makes the Exploding one take a bit more damage before it dies, and then still burns out to die afterwards. Though it does mean when they come back off of the primitive molds, they actually stick around longer, which isn't actually a good thing. That said, the Winged Clippings I don't actually want. Our only consume spells at the moment are these Frozen Lances. We're not looking to be retaining those. So I'll take this Spout. Let's see what we can find here. We have another Harvester, a Lady of the Reformed. Okay, well the other Harvester doesn't make much sense, I don't believe. Just don't have room for it. So we could have a Lady just kind of chill out. She already has Burnout, so we can make her... We can give her some offensive upgrades in addition to her 40 health, have her die, and then just reform and come back, and she'll sort of provide a little bit of protection on our final floor and be a buffer for our champion on the boss phase. So I'll take her. She won't be the most impressive part of our team this time around, but that's okay. And the next step is to go ahead and remove some stewards if we don't want them. Especially since we picked up the Incant Creature, even the bad spells are better than those guys. And here, of course, the Extinguish just gets ridiculous. I'll easily be picking that one up. On we go. Spell Shield 2. Definitely an issue. We do have some spells we're looking to use against our enemies. For 150 coins. These guys have 105 health. The special definitely messes with us. I'm just wondering if Little Fade, once we get it to die twice and it has 140 attack, might be enough. But if we ever get 2 of these on a single floor, it's going to be a little rough. So I think we had money coming up anyway, so I'm going to be safe and skip this. Okay, top floor smaller, that's totally fine. Get this all going. And is there any room for train stewards? Let's think about that. We know the middle floor wants to be our incant tank plus our mollusk mages. So that's 4 slots occupied, and we'll want to save one for Little Fade. And the top floor wants a Lady of the Reformed, which means there's no room for the Steward. We really need to get these guys out of the deck. Okay, not drawing our Sweeper, a little unfortunate. Luckily we can at least get rid of these weights. Here again, I'm looking to get the Lady going at the top. And the Mollusk Mage in the middle. Luckily, this guy doesn't hit too hard, so we get to just play this and not worry about it. And here Titan's Gratitude would kill this, letting us kill the unit behind it, so that seems like pretty good value, but we should, of course, get Fade down first. And we are looking to have it die one more time. Did miss the Collector there. Maybe could have considered using the spell on it. Okay, we have our silo fights, that's good. We have our tank, though it's not a very strong tank at the moment. And let's see, certainly looking to cast Primitive Mold. May as well cast Poison Lance since it hurt us to do so. In the meantime, I'm not looking to have this actively die anymore. May throw a Steward in front of here to just tank a hit. And continue playing this on the bottom, maybe. Yeah, that seems fine to me. So I'll do this. And then, unfortunately, that means the only space we can play Little Fade is at the very top, but yeah, that's okay. Get to play goalie up there. With 145 attack, multi-ring, instant kill boss. Alright, we got our other Mollusk Mage, that's cool. Go ahead and deploy that. Replay our Molded once more. Unfortunately, get the Steward that we can't fit anywhere. It's a bummer. But we get to kill here with the Lance, and kill here with that. Good stuff. Alright, we got our other Entombed Explosive, which I will play that one here. It's gonna die anyway, might as well do some damage. And play this one. Just get some triggers going. Our Lady dying is maybe not the greatest timing, but looks like it won't matter anyway, so cool. The Harvest Baron plus the Sweet Unit has been working great for us. I don't think this one's going to be as broken as the last time we did it, but won't exactly complain. Okay. Subsuming Blade. Is it finally early enough to take one? It gets a little easier to use with the Mollusk Mages, of course. But man, it's still a hard sell for me right now. So I don't think this is our pick. Again, not enough unit deaths from Memento Mori, though it's getting better, but still not where I'd like it to be. It's really better when you have all the dregs from the base Melting Remnant. You just have lots of creatures dying all the time. And most of the stuff we're reforming is our tombs, so I don't really care about giving them attack. Okay, here we have another strong incant. Like that. Spell weakness, getting better. That could be something I'm interested in. Not as worried about the sap. I think I might take the Glacial Seal. It means there's no room for our little Fade on that middle floor, but it just ends up being a pretty strong effect. Yeah. Okay, and we are looking to go this way and go ahead and improve our units. 235 gold to do so, and we got Endless once more. So we might be doing our classic combination here of giving the stealth unit Endless and just having that carry the bottom. +5/+5 with burnout doesn't heal too much, except maybe the lady. And health is obviously helpful. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Alright, so next we have to decide if we're looking to reroll or just buy what's here. Let me double check again what we might be interested in. We would like multi-strike on this, but we can't afford that for a reroll. Beyond that, health is fine. The Siren Sea needs some help, so I think I'll just go ahead and do that. And this is a mediocre one, but I'll just toss it on the lady. While we're here, we have lots of upgrades to do, since we are looking to use all these small sort of additional units. We're going to want to improve them. So there's just a lot we need to get through. We can't really afford to be not taking the cheap upgrades. And naturally removing our remaining train stewards have been nothing but a bother. Could remove one more card for 60, but I don't think I'll be doing that. Yeah, I don't think anything else is so bad. We certainly don't need all these primitive molds now. So maybe I could look at that. Let's see what's coming up. Duplicate, and so we'll probably end up going this way. We might want our money. I'll save it for now. But we are happy to remove several moldeds. Okay, we have aggressive for the harder hitting units. I think I'm willing to try this one. We're hoping to get our stealth going on the bottom floor, so that it won't be an issue there. We just bought some health for the Siren, so hopefully she can survive a hit or two. Yeah, we can use our spells to help, so go ahead and do that. Smart top floor again. It's fine. So just go ahead and start our setup. The triggers would be nice, but I'd rather eliminate these. They do 16 damage apiece. And we'll get the full fate dying. Finally get to hit the collector, that's great. And here we'll of course get the Baron rolling. Get Little Fate in front to at least take a little bit of damage. Molded's still bad. And we might as well fire this off. And one of these just for the incant. Do need to get to our tombs as soon as possible here. We do not, so our Wickless Baron is in a bit of trouble here. We can put Fade down one more time and play a Lance, which would just barely save it, I believe. So I might do that. In the meantime, we'll definitely go ahead and play a Glacial Seal. Would like to play a spell up here to get the Frostbite going on the 16 attack unit. Let's see here. Yeah, so if I kill one of these and play a Fade, the Fade dies, this dies, so this will get a bit of bonus health. So yeah, that's the way we'll play it for now. Play that, and you should survive. And here, I guess this actually deals damage, so that's great news. We get to apply our Frostbite and take substantially less damage. Looks like the big guy is unfortunately weak with quite a lot of health here. Being forced to use our champion as protection hasn't worked out too great. But we finally get our stealth unit online. That's fantastic. And here we'll get to at least explode. Let's see, she's on burnout 1, so we actually need her to get hit, but okay, and this burns out, so we're fine with her just taking the damage, I guess. Oh, but then this won't burn out. Man, slightly awkward stuff here. I guess we let the lady go. We have all these moldeds anyway. We'll be able to get her back, and I do want this to actually explode here. And we'll get the little fade rolling. This is gonna hurt. I don't think it quite kills us, but it gets uncomfortably close. And here, of course, just fire off some spells. Oh, looks like I was wrong, and that does in fact kill us. Well, that's a shame. Okay, took a challenge I shouldn't have, I guess. Maybe could have drawn slightly better, but yeah, tough. Tough loss. Alright, so yeah. Tried a similar strategy the last time, didn't quite work out. But, you know, well, sometimes you lose halfway through the run to a random unit with a lot of armor. It happens, and not to worry about it. We'll take another crack at it soon. For now, thank you for watching.